Greetings Rommies and welcome to Rom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to the first race of the Automobilista 2 Community Cup. Ginetta's at Road America. I'm not alone, because why should I when I have the excellent Ike at my side. How are you, mate?
I'm doing absolutely fine, sir. So how on earth are you doing?
I'm fine. I heard that you had all fans on because it was a little bit balmy.
It is muggy in the UK today. It has been awful. If anyone has been to the UK, you will know exactly what I mean when I say it was 29 degrees today. Upstairs in my brick house, it was not a good time to be working. Thankfully, it's cooled down a little bit now, but nowhere near as much as it needs to have as Drewface goes to the top of the timing screens. Exactly what we were looking for.
And the timing screens are especially tailor-made timing screens from Ike, who spent the last weeks fiddling around with JavaScript and trying to find out what Automobilista 2 delivers and what it doesn't, and why and who and when and what, and oh, for God's sake.
Yes. Exactly. SimHub is fantastic. It's great if you know Java. If you don't know Java, it's a headache in a jar. I am in the latter camp, unfortunately, but I'm getting there. Thankfully, there is a significant amount of support within the SimHub community, so hopefully we're going to have a unified experience across Brom's broadcasting in the near future, with this tower at the heart of it. Hopefully.
And again, mate, I do know JavaScript quite well, so ask me. If it's JavaScript, I can help you. If it's JavaScript and SimHub, with SimHub I have no experience, but JavaScript, with my eyes closed.
At least you can. At least you can. So we're following Damanoidus at the moment, who is circulating currently in second. I have a feeling that there may be team play going on. He has his teammate ahead. I think there may be some dragging going on to get that extra tenth of a second that he needs, which you can't see at the moment, unfortunately. So at the moment, Drewface is at the top with a 2 minutes and 10 seconds, .509. Damanoidus 2:10.611. There is literally a tenth of a second between these two leaders at the moment. Damanoidus with the best second sector at the moment and improving this time through, but unfortunately, I don't think he is going to improve. Got a little bit too close to his teammate there. Unless he can pull it out this time. Up over the top of the hill he will go, and goes to the top. It was a faster second sector and a blistering third sector that saw him take to the top of the timing screens. Mr. J-Turn has just come across the lines. Well, I just realised you have no way of seeing splits at the moment, do you?
Nope.
other than the
yes, I have the timing screen.
Yes.
You gave me the link to the timing screen, so yeah, I have, if I would open the timing screen, but I see it now.
Yes, perfect. I was just thinking you would normally have some insights. I can't believe so. Damanoidus has not set any of the fastest sectors at this point in qualifying. Dan Lewis comes to the line and will go as far as 5th as well. Big old flash of the lights for one of, I think that was an LNR car up the inside. Yeah, coming up for another go around the track.
And if you see, and there we go.
Yep.
I was gonna say that these cars are quite slidey, and yes, they are. Yes, they are.
I was actually going to say exactly that. You actually had a go in one of these cars in the preceding this event, and I think that you said it was fun, is the word.
So yes, it's fun, but you have to fiddle with the setup and braking and everything. So one very important thing is you cannot go unprepared into Road America with this Ginetta, because the car loves to oversteer, which is not a bad thing, but you have to know how to reduce it so that you can profit from it. And that's something that you have to be prepared. You have to have done a lot of practice to be able to use it in the right way.
Yeah, it's all about slip angles, as it ever is with these force. Oh, scary four. Who is that was just having
I think it was Netcode.
Yeah. 16th position would be Loz in the independence category, I think.
Oh yeah, Yes,
Loz is struggling.
For those who don't know what this darned Automobilista 2 Community Cup is, organized by Just Race, which is a place where you can race, you can just get a server for our Factor 2, for Assetto Corsa Competizione, but most especially for Automobilista and Automobilista 2, because it comes from an Automobilista community. Organized by Just Race, it's a battle of, in this case, 7 communities. Each community has 3 drivers at least, but 3 drivers that normally are racing in the races, and each community, on preparation for the Automobilista 2 Community Cup, chooses a track and car combination. And then, when everyone has decided what they want, they all race in the car and track combinations chosen by the different communities. So you will see in every one of these races, we have 8 races. In every one of these races, it's going to be a different car and track combination out of the many that Automobilista 2 has to offer. Ooh, that was a close one. Yeah, that was a close one.
Again, unfortunately, driver tracking is not one of AMS2's. No, this isn't the race already. This is just qualifying. We have 1 minute and 15 seconds left of the qualifying session. But we just saw an awkward incident for Sobrero, and is that the 363, I think, behind?
Well, it was not an incident, but almost. Luckily,
almost. It was very, very close, and some damage in qualifying as well. Something for the pit crew to have to look into once the session is over.
Luckily, not like in real life, the pit crews are very fast when in sim racing.
Yes. So Sobrero coming up to the top of the hill to start one more lap, and we'll see if this is as far as he goes. No, he will go for one more lap. Let's go on board. I'm sure everybody knows Road America at this point. Beautiful.
And still, yeah.
Yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful carving into the countryside of the east.
Ooh, and slide, and that's it. Ooh, that was close. Oh, that was close.
One of the few occasions that it is absolutely understandable to not hold the brake pedal. Yeah.
So I love Road America. I mean, one of the races I always look forward to in the IndyCar schedule is Road America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm an absolute glutton for the IMSA meeting here. Has thrown up so many fantastic opportunities and incidents, let's say. It just keeps you absolutely engaged. Drewface is trying to find 200ths of a second to depose Rocco Damanoidis from that provisional pole. He's done a fastest first sector. little bit... he's fast on his second sector as well. Not fastest of all, though. Although, there's every possibility he doesn't need to be. Up over the top of the hill. And goes to the top by, in the end, 600ths.
Oh, nice.
Good grief.
Very nice. So, the first 5 are all in the 2:10.
Yep.
2 minutes, 10 seconds.
Yep.
2:10.3, 2:10.3, 2:10.8, 2:10.8, 2:10.9. Heavens, that's going to be a race.
And from the head of the field all the way to, let's ignore Raptor in the Independence, but the from bottom to top, the whole field is 4 seconds. When you bear in mind that these are vastly different communities essentially trying their hand at something new, that's going to be a very, very tight field. And with a lack of ABS, it's going to be even more exciting when we get to the race. So, Drew Face will take that pole position in the end, 6/10 off, 600ths ahead of Rocco Tamanoidis. Dan Lewis will take the second row of the grid with David Sobrero, who we were following through for a brief period, who also has the second sector, the fastest second sector of anyone. So watch for that Sobrero car to make progress through the twisty parts of this circuit. And there is quite a few twisty parts, but the second sector, fastest for Sobrero. J-Turn will start from 5th with Flying Hawk in 6th, Grandpa Bear 7th, Blankfile 8th, Evil Noodle in 9th. The first of our independents in the form of KB in 10th, but rounds out the top 10. 11th will be Carazetta for MVRC. MSU is the 12th position driver of Tinez Los Archer, who has made some fantastic liveries for some of the communities here as an independent in 13th. Metz in 14th. 15th will be Nessie. 16th will be Andy Bonar. Nobsy in 17th. 18th will be Johnny B. Paul Venter in 19th. 20th will be Lequando, who is from the NBZ team. Duff, who is Mr. Neil Greening from the LNR team in 21st. 22nd will be Chris H. Roy 33 in 23rd. 24th will be Raptor and L, who did a really good job to get out that last position. Noel Bullion in 25th, and 26th will be Took in the NBZ car. A couple of seconds off the back of the field, but it's going to be a long race with at least a pit stop for all of our drivers due to the fueling characteristics of this car.
And it's going to be interesting to see if the drivers change... If the drivers change tires, because they are not forced to do so. They can if they want, but they don't have to, which will save them a couple of seconds. But if they do I think 40 minutes of race with the same set of tires at the end, these slidey boys are going to be even more slidey.
So there's a couple of things that I can point out from that. It depends on the delta of how much time you lose in the pits due to changing tires. If it's 10 to 12 seconds, you're going to make up a lot of that time having fresh rubber and being able to abuse them. On the other hand, you'll lose a little bit of time on the first and maybe even second round because the tires will be cold. Absolutely. But yeah, I personally I would change tires. Yes. Yeah, and what we'll have to do as well is we'll have to keep an eye on all of the drivers to see who's making positions, who is losing positions through the pit stops as well, because that's going to be indicative of someone missing their pit box.
By the way. don't worry, everything is okay. The drivers got a 3-minute pause for getting a drink, racing to the toilet, or whatever they may need to do. maybe pray to their favorite god or goddess before the race starts. So don't worry, this is planned this way now that qualifying is over, so that they can just get in the zone and start racing.
It's great for us as well because it allows us to do our regularly scheduled wander
Banter.
off into the weeds of conversation.
Yeah.
So
Oh, heavens to Betsy. Wait.
You're right.
There we go. I had the tower off because the tower plus the Automobilista 2 information is a little bit too much on screen. So they surprised me by starting.
Yeah, it was quicker than normal. I appreciate that. So I believe we do not have a warm-up lap. We are go from the line.
Yep, absolutely.
And this is where the new tower will come into play. Hopefully. It's my favorite game is hoping that tech issues work.
Oh well. And if they don't, exactly. If they don't, we'll clean it up for next time. I mean,
absolutely.
It's great that we have this. Also because this is going to be our standard tower for all the races.
Yeah, so building compatibility for all of your favorite sims into one dashboard is a little bit of a challenge.
Yep.
Good challenge. Really enjoyable challenge.
But I mean, life would be boring without challenges.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah. I've never understood people who say they don't want to retire because they'll get bored. There's so much to do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, by the way, if I remember correctly, this is gonna be a race with simulated 24 hours.
Yes, there is a concern about that. Oh, a rollback from the 59 car.
Ooh.
But very, very clean as they go up towards turn 1. They are 3 and 4 wide as they come across the track. Positions gained and lost already. Down into turn 1. Yeah. Clean so far. Let's make sure it is all the way down the field.
Looks very good.
Absolutely perfect.
That first corner on cold tires, cold brakes, cold everything.
Yep.
It can be difficult.
Yeah, no ABS, no traction control. Damanoidus losing out 2 positions from that start. I dare say he might be using auto clutch and about to lose out again to Sobrero, coming into one of his stronger sectors of the track. Missing the apex for Damanoidus, but a big wiggle for Sobrero. Cold tyres and now has to go defensive against Grandpa Bear from the AMS unofficial team, but very quickly deals with that up the hill.
And Drew Face from the Kirk Clippers putting himself in first position. I hope it's not a repeat of the first season. It wasn't boring per se, but of course it's like with Formula 1, you already know who's gonna win and who's gonna make second most of the time, so you don't care. But Drew Face profiting from Thamanoidis losing positions and putting himself in first position. Dan Lewis MVRC on second.
Sobrero running wide. He's going to put himself under the pressure of Grandpa Bear once again if he's not careful. Everything looks to be pretty tidy once again. Using all of the track as he can and a little bit more. That's a little bit risque by Sobrero, I think. Not quite able to get the performance out of the car either through understeer or oversteer. It could be either of them. at this point in the race.
With
the
these
tires
cars, yes.
Exactly. With the tyres not being up to pressure or temperature, you just need to be really careful at this point in the race not to hurt them too much. Unsurprisingly, Drew Face with a fastest lap of the race from the start. And with the fastest sector, fastest third sector, Mr. Dan Lewis. Where are the battles? I think, once again, as it always is, just outside the top 5 is a fantastic battle, which
Grandpa Bear?
is, yeah, sort of 5th. So we're with Flying Hawkic at the moment, 7th position, 92 car, who is just behind the battle between Grandpa Bear and Sobrera. I think Grandpa Bear is being the utmost professional and sensible in his driving. Has not been
there was an accident at the back.
Who's that involved? That is the 303. That is the 71 of Johnny B of Carazada. Oh, come on, timing screens. So Carazada was involved there. I wish we had replays. And Tinez, I think it was the other one involved. We need them to have their car numbers actually displayed, don't we, really?
Yeah.
Simple, easy.
Another thing that we can write down for the next race.
I hope you're messaging me these lives so that we can make sure we get it right.
No, I'm not. I have to write them down and then I'll message it after the race.
So it's another one that would
going wide.
No.
Ooh, very wide.
That was Mr. Venter being a little bit aggressive on the old kink into turn 3, and once again, it's going to be greening. And who is the other Bonar involved for the NRT team?
But was it contact, or did just one slide and then take the other?
Just looking here, Bonar's down 10, Duff is down 2, so I would suggest that they may have been, because possibility that they are relatively unrelated there. So he will be carrying a little bit of damage from that, if not from in the tyres or the car, at least, at the very least, in the ego.
Well.
Chris H is looking mighty aggressive, surrounded by the
there's somebody who has a slight and now going off. 76.
Yep, and that is so Chris H is grief, they're moving too quickly. Noob's having big issues there. So what has happened there? And Chris H is going to come. Chris H is going to fall behind. There we go. I'm having to scroll the tower. That's a weird one. So Laquando is going to start making up positions. Carazada, what's happened? Someone else has dropped back as well. It's Tinez. It's all getting a little bit messy at the back of the field here.
Interesting. The first 2-3 laps were clean, and now they're starting to get a little bit more aggressive or trying to make up positions and time. And with these cars you have to be very careful with the throttle and with everything. As I said, these are slidey boys.
I have a theory what is mine when it comes to this, because everybody's super duper careful when it comes to lap 1, and I have this distinct belief that all of our fantastic and staunch sim racers get past lap 1 and think, right, there's enough space, let's go for it. And obviously, with a field this tight, that's not how this works.
Yeah, and just to show you how tight the field is, first and second are less than a second away from each other. Third and fourth also, so they are all very near to each other. Or
you can have a look. You can have a look at the gap between the cars. Is what I'm using to decide where we go. Really, really useful screen. But yes, the gaps between the cars, the majority of them are in the zeros. They're less than a second apart and staying that close as well. Perhaps the qualifying pace of these drivers, there was some bodywork on the start-finish straight. I wish we could get to see that. But really, the closeness of these drivers, just having to be really, really careful with each other at this point in time, let alone with the cars and the tires. Race, we have 37 minutes remaining in 5 seconds time. But the other thing as well with Road America, really, really generous on the track limits, which is peculiar, bearing in mind the only track limits that you're going to be super scared of, as Grandpa Bear is coming up to at the moment, is this one. You could really use a bit more runoff there, but there's forest in the way.
So to answer Tim's question, if I remember correctly, the race is 40 minutes.
That was a brave look by Hawkick there for the RPM car, and it was a brave defense by Grandpa Bear, but he's going to run off the track, not be able to get the drive, but he has the apex for the left-hand kink just before the final corner. They're going to come up the hill side by side, but Hawkick has the position safely passed. Really immense trust in Grandpa Bear there from Hawkick to not to cut across in front. Entirely entitled for him to do that, but it really opens you up for a punt to pass at the next corner, because you're taking away so much visibility from the driver in front. And again, community-focused racing here. So these guys all in a voice channel together, listening to each other.
So no, I was wrong. 45 minutes. The race is 45 minutes long.
Yep. So it started.
Go ahead.
It started at 45 minutes. We had the countdown, so it ended up being about 43 minutes or so. By the time we got to the end, this is going to be more action coming down towards turn 4. One way, then the other for Grandpa Bear. He wants that 6th position back. And I think he thinks that Flying Hawkick is going to be holding him up. Now, is this strategy for Flying Hawkick? Is he trying to look after his tyres a little bit more than Grandpa Bear behind, and just trying to maintain some track position and not take tyres in the pit stop?
By the way, if you're wondering that the cars are going quite wide, Road America is set up this way. Road America allows, even on real life, for the cars to go quite wide.
Nessie with an issue just before the carousel. Got it a little bit wrong just on the exit. Throttle down a little bit too early. Yes, the Ginetta G55 is a gorgeous car, and did you know you can buy road legal versions of them? You probably can't afford a road legal version of one, but you can buy them. You'd be better off buying a Caterham and stripping it of what little there is to get some weight out of the car. That battle between Hawkick and Grandpa Bear is going to start including blank file soon if they aren't careful. Just trying to look at splits here. So I see Johnny B is looking fearsome in the rear view of Nessie at the moment. We do have battles going on up and down the field as well. Oh, the split for Dan Lewis has disappeared. I fixed that. Oh, we've lost a driver.
No, I even see. The thing is, I see 25 drivers on the tower.
We had 26.
We had 26. Okay.
Yep. I've also found an issue with the
with the tower. Yes.
Hey ho. Oh, it's a big look up the inside for Johnny B there. Given the space by Nessie. But I wonder if that was a lack of performance from the front tyres, and once again washing out wide for Nessie. I do think that there may be a little bit. Do you know what? I'm going to do what I didn't say. I said I was going to not do. And go to cockpit view for a second. Let's have a look at the steering angles on this car. That's quite a bit of turn-in for these G55s. Drew-face doesn't count. Agreed. There could be, I dare say, that Nessie might actually be burning his front tyres.
That's easy to do. I mean, on my test races for getting information here, the right-hand side tires were always hotter than the left-hand side.
And that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There will be tracks that will always stress one side more than the other. I mean, the nature of Road America being a clockwise circuit is always going to stress out the left-hand side more than the right. It's just that in this case, you have the carousel, which is an acceleration zone and a double or triple apex right-hander that has a long straight after it, so you're trying to maximize your apex speed and your exit speed to try and get the most down the back straight.
And may I say how wonderful Automobilista 2 looks here? I mean, I know it's the Madness engine, I know it looks similar to Project Cars, but Ginetta's on Road America, with these liveries, the teams have done an excellent job, and where they didn't lost it. And in Automobilista 2, it looks really fantastic.
Bounciness on these cars as well. I've not noticed that up until now. Just the headlights bobbing up and down, showing just how beautifully the Automobilista 2 team have been working on these physics to make them as realistic as possible in the Madness engine.
And especially the relationship between the body and the tires and the suspension and the track and all these incredibly physics things, where I go bonkers trying to understand what they do when the developers tell me the details.
And meanwhile, all these drivers are complaining about is tire wear and how one side is heating up so much more than the other. It's so frustrating.
Well, yes.
Oh, here we go. This is
Again.
battle for the podium. Mr. Damanoidus up behind J Turn, who I believe has somehow ended up in front of Damanoidus. Let's go, Nobsy. Yes. You can be a chill fan exactly how you just have. There's no. No, Neil. What happened? What was it? Downshifting or what?
Oh, so blowing up the engine is something you don't want to do.
Nope. Along with gearboxes as well, but. These are sequential gearboxes, so the engine is the last of the weak points. Blank file is getting close as well. There's a 3-car battle behind. Yeah, little touch of the grass, nothing to worry about. This is still a very, very tight battle over 3rd, 4th, and 5th if Sobrera can get his G55 into this fight. That's going to take Damanoidus away from focus away from the 3rd place car of Jay Turn, who is actually providing our SimHub data for the race tonight.
Yes.
Thanks, Jay. Ritza, we love you. Please allow us to have our own data while we're broadcasting. It would be really, really appreciated.
Absolutely. That's something that I've also put forward to the developers, but Reza has at the moment other priorities. It's okay, but I won't stop nagging them.
Reza is busy enough trying to fix what SMS couldn't.
Yeah. and finding the issues. By the way,
Yes,
somebody
absolutely.
forgot to set up a button for the lights.
Yes, that seems to be a fairly common issue here. I remember it was an issue at the test race as well. Few drivers just not bothering to run lights. And to be perfectly fair, as Nobsy runs off in the background of the fight between Johnny B and Nessie, Johnny B finally gets an overlap.
And getting the inside line.
It's going to be a brave move, but it's going to be textbook in the end.
And that's an easy and, on the other hand, difficult place to do it. But yeah, if you're doing it somewhere near the end of the track, that's the place to do it. Yeah.
So it's going to be it's even more difficult now. I believe Nessie might have started killing off their tires. You get black flags for no lights. The thing is that Road America is not all that dark. At its darkest points, it's a very well illuminated track, so it's not actually that bad. And if you're carrying damage and the headlights are flickering or would be flickering, sometimes it's actually easier to run with the headlights off. Yeah, it could. There's a number of things that it could be: button not bound, crash damage, or any number of things. But obviously, that's something that we have to wait for post-race interviews to find out, unfortunately. Or this is going to be Nobsy getting very, very close now to the Nessie car. But I don't think he's going to go for the position as yet. I feel surrounded by noobs. Hey! Well played. That looks like half a look. I do believe that Nobsy is trying to pressure Nessie at the moment. I tell you what, while we're in the middle of the night, and I'm going to curse myself for saying this, yet Laquando will take everyone out by being like, no, come on, Tim. While it's nighttime, which is arguably the best time to be enjoying any kind of onboards, let's just appreciate the modified, the AMS. Was it the Madness Plus engine?
Yeah, I'm calling it the Madness Plus engine.
So Dan Lewis has just set a new fastest lap of the race, 2:10.982, compared to Drew Face's 2:11.118, which is his fastest lap of the race, but 2/10 off. And this is suddenly a very, very busy head of the field. Laps left? No. It's
time left.
24 minutes and 37 remaining at this moment. None of the cars have fuel to the finish, so at some point we are going to see pit stops occurring. So unfortunate with Phantom Shadows, but outside of it, look how beautiful this engine looks.
And Reza is aware of it, and they're trying to find it like crazy and working on it. So yeah, they are very much aware, and they are themselves annoyed.
Yes, absolutely. But as we were saying before we started streaming, the graphics are the last thing that the Madness engine needs work on. Absolutely beautiful graphics, excellent lighting engine, beautiful colours as Road America is displaying in the nighttime here. Makes you want to have a 24-hour IMSA race, doesn't it?
Where do they do? They do in Sebring. They do the 24 hours, right?
12 hours of Sebring, 24 hours of Daytona.
Daytona, 24 hours. Yuck. Boring.
It's not. Daytona's fantastic.
But not 24 hours.
It feeds into the... Oh, we forgot pit stop starting. Chris, Took, Tinez, and Roy 33 all in the pits for the only time. That was a beautiful lap on board. Thank you very much, Mr. Dan Lewis, for that. This is your leader of the cars that has pitted, Mr. Chris H. And you saw where Drewface and Dan were just now. So lots of potential blue flags to be dealing with.
Yeah, don't be so happy about Wando being 21st. It's because some of the drivers already went to pits.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Nobsy's. Oh no, where's Nessie gone? There. Oh, okay. That must have been a big old drive for Nessie then, because Nobsy's fallen back to the tune of 2 seconds. I wonder if he made a mistake at turn 1. J-turn in the pits. Promote a few drivers here. This is where it's still going to separate up a little tiny bit, so we're going to start losing close battles for the time being, but this may well be one of the key parts of the race as we go towards the finish. When are drivers going to pit, and where are they going to come out? Are they going to change tyres? All questions that we need to find out soon.
And by the way, this is something that we cannot get out of Automobilista 2. Eike has been searching for the last week. We are not able to get the tire information out of Automobilista 2 to be able to show it to you. And it's something that now that you told me, I'm going to put forward to the Reza team that maybe they should add that.
So I understand understand part of the issue, because obviously with the wide variety of cars that AMS2 has, unfortunately, there's a lot of different tyres that can be exported. It is not as simple as F1, where you have soft, medium, hard, and wet.
There we go. Next one in pits.
Dan Lewis into the pits. So this could well be the undercut that Dan Lewis needs or decides to use. Could this be fresh tyres for Lewis to take the fight to Drewface on his own terms? He got as close as he possibly could in the... So Grandpa Bear's in the pits. Let me just see which deltas are correct and which aren't. I see a J-turn in 20th. This has not worked for the previously third place driver. You're absolutely correct, Tim. They should output time of day.
Yeah.
They don't output time of day. I just noticed that.
No, that's something that I've been always asking myself. That's something that, for example, you can get out of the data of Assetto Corsa. But I wouldn't know where to look in Automobilista 2 to find out that information.
Sometimes it literally doesn't have the data.
Well, no, it does. It does have the data, because it uses this real weather. And even historic weather, so it knows which time of the day is, because it knows when it has to start raining or fog or whatever.
Of course, yeah.
So
absolutely.
it does have the sim has the information inside, but it doesn't. There's no way, at least no way that I know, to get that information from Automobilista 2 so that you can display it.
And after the 24 I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
Actually, that's really interesting. Is that, Tim, so did you do a full 24 hours in like AI or with other drivers? Because that sounds like an Iron Man stint, and I am terrified of you now.
Thing is, was it really 24 hours? I know, in real time.
Yeah, real time.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
I mean, an absolutely incredible feat, even if you did it without with other drivers. But definitely one for the record books. That.
Cruz, you have the gap to leader and you have the gap to each other, and I think we have a bug there.
Yeah, we have a couple
in the tower.
Wow.
I think one line is moved. So Bruce, did you want to see the gap to each other or the gap to leader? Let us know.
So that's there. I tell you who's taking an interesting strategy, if this is correct. Timing. No, you're just gonna... Oh, is that a... Oh, no. So I think that is Mr. Boolean in the pits? Yeah, he's in the pits. There we go. I don't... It didn't work. It didn't know where he was for some reason. That was really strange. What else do we have? Met's in the pits. I sincerely hope that you aren't seeing the interesting pit crews that I am.
Well, I don't know. I'm seeing pit crews.
Oh, I see pit crews, but they look like they're phasing in and out.
No, they're not here.
That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. So, who has pitted and who hasn't? Damanoidus back up into 5th position overall at the moment. Johnny B has yet to pit, I dare say. Blank file yet to pit, and Sobrero yet to pit. Look at that delta, 40 seconds to the good for Johnny B over Damanoidus at the moment. The rest of the grid attached by fairly short strings once again. Yes, the gap. So it was... I don't understand what happened there. I think that there was an issue with the data transmission, because that has all been fixed now.
Yeah, so we are in part using the Gary Swallow overlays, correct, Heike?
That's it, yeah. So we're using the Gary Swallow plugin. The issue with the Gary Swallow plugin is that it doesn't have anywhere near enough information on it. So this is, as I say, I have created some custom math to do some of the things that you see here. But that is going to expand massively as I start to get to grips with what I can make SimHub do.
Oh, we've lost a second driver. We're down to 24.
We are down to 24 as well. What has happened there? Who are we missing? Pondo. I think, yeah, so we've got Blankfile in the pits, Johnny B in the pits, and just falling back. That's another thing that will get added as soon as possible. Lewis looking to the outside of flying wall kick.
No, just not losing control. Very well caught. Heesh.
Absolutely beautiful, and a well-deserved flash of the lights. For Mr. Lewis. I think that pass was well and truly on and given not quite enough space. We lost Nopsy. Oh, he was doing so well as well with his... there we go. And this is where the Community Cup aspect starts to take place. Hawkick pushed down off the track and has realised his wrongdoing and let him through. Unfortunate for the battle that we were looking forward to, but gentlemanly nonetheless. And now Dan has overcooked his tyres trying to push back up, and he's going to give Mr. Hawkick the same treatment. That was a very close one and very well held by Lewis.
And by the way, there is no issue with your browser, with your monitor or wherever you're looking at it. We have fog on the track.
Oh my. Oh, we do have fog. Oh, that's terrifying. Hopefully it won't get too thick and we won't be able to see.
Nah, I think the fog in the Madness engine isn't that bad. It's just a little bit of atmosphere.
Yes, absolutely. So you can't see what I can see from the AMS2 timing screen. It broke.
The AMS2, the in-game?
The in-game tower broke.
Oh,
big time.
bother.
That was excellent. That was superb. That was. Everyone was a minute and 40 seconds ahead of someone. I don't know who.
That's.
But Tinez is yeah. Tell me about it. Fog. Mist is great. Yeah, Mist is great. We like Mist. Mist is fun. But Fog, not so much. It's okay.
Yeah, true.
We have in-camera cars that we can use to spectate. Grandpa Bear still has the fastest first sector of anyone on the track.
Nice.
Which is absolutely astonishing. Running a little bit off his best, but Sobrero holds the middle sector. Another fastest lap for Dan Lewis. So having been freed of Flying Hawkick, Dan Lewis is using that undercut that Drew Face is trying to eke out every last inch of fuel that he had. Before he takes to the pits.
He hasn't been in pits yet?
He hasn't been into the pits, I don't think, unless...
But we...
that delta has gone down significantly, yeah.
We have 12 minutes to go. How was he able to save so much fuel?
I haven't seen him go into the pits yet, but the other thing... So Damanoidus... Because obviously Dan Lewis was... Dan Lewis was on the tail of Drew Face. Now that could well be the difference between taking tyres and not taking tyres. Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Pits are all done. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because that's another thing that I'm going to need to calculate, because AMS2 doesn't expose the data. Is how many times people have visited the pits.
See, that was something that I already wrote that I wanted to write to you after the race.
Yep, it will. It's going to require doing manually, because what we'll have to do is count the instances of the pit being used. So again, Dan pitted early. He's putting more fuel, cost him a load of time. I see. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So there was a lot of fuel that went into the Dan Lewis car. I'm with you. So Grandpa Bear is getting into a fight again, I think. Very quickly with Evil Noodle. It's not going to be long.
I'm avoiding the gap between drivers because it's buggy.
It's bugged, yeah. But it's gone. That's gone very quickly. Evil Noodle must be carrying some damage or something. Because that was an incredibly easy pass, unless of course. Aye! Oh wow!
Grandpa Bear almost losing control, but keeping it.
Making it look easy, and both of them going brief. Lot of drive off of there under the on the bridge. Where's Nobsy? Nobsy has had a disconnection, it looks like. Unfortunately.
Luckily, yeah. Oh, now we have three drivers in the battle.
That's it. So now Evil Noodle, Grandpa Bear, and Johnny B for the independents, starting to put pressure just at the bottom of the top 10. Just outside, it's always at the bottom half of the top 10 is where all the battles are.
Yeah.
And I think that is just about. Well, Raptor NL is hunting Lequando for 16th and 17th, but that is going in and out at the moment. This is by far the closest battle at the moment.
And what a close battle that is.
And again, incredibly fair. Incredibly fair. These drivers know exactly what they're doing and where they're placing their cars. I have no doubt that at least a few of them are running some kind of radar to make sure that they aren't going to be unfairly imposing on other people's space. Grandpa Bear has a quick look to the inside. Don't think he was looking for an overtake there. That was more just trying to find a spot his braking marker. But Evil Noodle runs out wide. Did Dan change tyres? Not a clue. By the amount of time that he lost and just how fast he's going. Speaking of fast, Johnny B getting up alongside with the draft of Evil Noodle. This could become a 3 wide very quickly if they're not careful.
You don't want to go 3 wide on Road America.
Nope, there is not that much space, but
and
again,
Grandpa Bear.
Big sideways moment. Big gets it stopped this time. Beautifully done. Yep, I agree. Dud, I would suggest that Lewis took tyres, judging by the fact that he literally pulled out the fastest lap of the race this far into the race. I don't think that he would be doing that on used tyres. Seven minutes remaining then in this opening round of the AMS2 Community Cup. A group of a litter of 7 communities coming together this year. More potentially on the way as well, possibly. There's always more. Hello, David. Always
David.
more interest for this series as it presents such a unique as such a unique prospect for all of the communities who are invested in AMS2. And I mean, why wouldn't you want to bring the best of your communities together to fight it out? I mean, we do that in real life, for goodness sake, with Race of Champions.
Yeah, and there were 2 communities that were interested but could not get enough people within their community on a relatively short notice, but their interest is peaked, and therefore it's quite possible that next year they're gonna be here, and the more the merrier. Oh, by the way, we haven't told the people watching the broadcast, but these drivers are fighting for something.
They are. Would you like to tell the story, or shall I?
Yeah, so we decided at Rom to put our money where our mouths are, which means that we are giving away €100 in Steam vouchers to the 3 communities in first, second, and third position. First community in first position at the end of the AMS2CC is gonna get vouchers worth €50. However they want to divide them, that's up to them. Second is gonna get vouchers worth €30, and third is gonna get vouchers worth €20.
And there is always potential for further work to be done in that. It would be fantastic to see this Community Cup grow beyond where it is at the moment.
Yeah.
Talk of there being potentially 2 splits in the near future, which again might split us up, but I mean, we can broadcast 2 races on this channel. That's just sensible, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Drew Face starting to pull out fast times as well. Also, I see a Savage Paddy in chat saying Dan could do that time on remolds. I love that. For those of you who might not know what remolds are, there are 2 options what that could be. Either that is getting a tyre remolded, normally used in HGVs for your ETS2 fans, where they will cut new grooves into the tyres to make them more legal again. Essentially, the compound on truck tyres are very thick, and so you can recut them. The alternative is very remolds are an old form of tyre that used to be used to recycle rubber, because recycling used to be cool, and now we just throw all of our plastic away. No, we need to not talk about that.
Don't talk politics. This is sim
can't
racing.
talk politics. It's just sim racing. That's all that we're allowed to be interested in.
You pinko commie tree hugger.
Where is Tinez? Why is that? Come on.
Tinnis is on 15th.
Yes, there was a very interesting delta. So it shows his delta is 0.38 behind Chris H. There we go. So why couldn't it see Tinez? Come on, AMS. This could, in fairness, this could be
we have Tinnis. We're seeing him.
We have Tinez now. Yep. So this could well be a feature of Road America. But again, sensible driving. Look at that. Not stick. He had the opportunity to stick his nose up the inside of the independent Chris H there, but didn't do it. He knew that they've been driving for so long that to throw it all away in the last 2 minutes would just be a waste. So just got on the anchors, got the car stopped, allowed Chris the space to turn in, and is rewarded with still having a car in one piece with no damage.
Yep.
What has something to do with dentistry? Unbelievable. clearly a lurker. 35 watching is a testament to just how relevant AMS2 is at the moment, and we've lost, it looks like, another driver, unfortunately.
Oh. One minute and a half left. 1 minute and a half left in this race.
So where is our leader on the track? We do have a driver tracker. Oh, there he is. This will be the second to last lap, I think. Just at the carousel now is Drew Face. Definitely need to move that map.
Yeah,
I really needs moving.
It's in the middle of our timing screen.
And Drew Face, last time by, with a fastest lap of the race. 2 minutes 10.298. My goodness, that is moving some. And out onto the start-finish straight for the final time for the drivers in 14th and 15th position. Our leader has already started the final lap, 30 seconds to go, and he is going down. Here we go. Screw it. No. Oh, really? Come on. There we go. Wrong end of the track. There we go. This will be the final lap of the race for Drew Face. We've seen next to nothing of him as we did in the warm-up race, but let's stick with him for a lap. Give the curb clippers, I'll get it right by the end of the season, I promise, what they want, and that is just a little tiny bit of camera time. It's entirely understandable. Drew Face has been dominant through every session that we have seen. Sounds like Nobsy had the AI take over in the pits.
Oh?
Okay. Interesting. Curb clippers have been dominant throughout the course of these seasons, and as Sir said at the outset, it's not always the most fun to see the same team winning, but you have to admire the sheer amount of talent that is present in the behind the wheel of this first place car of Drew Face. I don't think it's controversial to say that seeing this amount of talent being on show on actual merit rather than let's say using the C word to be as quick as they are is something that is rarely seen both in sim racing and real racing. But again, kudos to Curb Clippers, kudos to Drew Face as he comes through the kink for the final time under race conditions. It's going to be a very, very dark end to this race. Beautiful taillights on the G55 burning into the night. The mist that was promised didn't end up playing too much of a role, but I don't think even the fog of war could have stopped the relentless progress of Drew Face here. He'll come neatly out of the final corner, and it is going to be a win for the first round of the MS260 for Drew Face and Curb Clippers.
And fantastic. Drewface makes first. Before we forget, the next race is not, for once, not gonna be in 2 weeks, but in 3, on the 20th of September. Track and car combination chosen by noobs. Coppa Classic B at Velocità.
Regilux made a fantastic point. Final lap of the race, 2:09.549. He really took the wrist weights off for that final lap.
Yeah. Reminds me of I don't remember which race it was where Vettel wanted to make the fastest lap and the Red Bull team were saying no, don't do any stupid things, don't try to get the fastest lap, let's finish the race and get the first position. But nope, he pressed on because he wanted to get the fastest lap.
That sounds perfectly normal for Red Bull drivers. Not yet over, though. Chris H and Tina still attached by a short bungee cord here. This could go down to the wire if they aren't incredibly careful. It's a big look for up the inside for Tinez. Doesn't have the overlap. Chris H goes defensive.
Very defensive.
But outbrakes himself ever so slightly. He's going to use a big kick of oversteer there. Didn't quite get the traction off. Now there's an overlap. Overlap coming up to the second to last corner is going to be Tinez up the inside. Big wiggle for Chris H. Unfortunately, no way of us knowing how that works. We'll find out if Tinez thought that he was at fault by that's a flash. I dare say there may have been some contact made there, judging by.
I didn't see it, but yeah.
Well, unfortunately, the camera angle didn't offer us the opportunity.
Yeah.
But we'll find out very quickly. There we go. Yeah, that's what we were expecting. And they all come down to the end of the finish line. Cruzada will come up the hill for the final time. No running out of fuel, I don't think.
Nope.
And that is the end of the session.
So we have Drewface, Sobreiro, Thamanoides in first, second, and third. Curb Clippers, and RPM. If you liked this race, remember on the 20th of September we are again on the Automobilista 2 Community Cup, and we'll let you know, of course, through YouTube and the news and whatever, because we're not gonna stop telling you how fantastic these races are.
Absolutely. We do also have, if we switch to Discord, a Drewface waiting to have a chat.
Wonderful. I'm getting him into fantastic. Here. No, I cannot.
No, that's fine. I've got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Mr. Drewface.
Hello.
Are you there?
Hey, how are we going, guys?
Hey. So was it lonely at the top?
No. We had some company for the first stint. I definitely didn't have it easy for the first half of the race. But then, yes, the second half was a little bit more lonely, I guess.
Yes, and what was that strategy that you ended up using to pull out such a big gap? Because we saw a lot of shuffling in the stages of the pits, but it seemed like you maintained that lead. Was it just fuel?
Grew the lead, actually. When I boxed, I think when Dan boxed, he was half a second behind me.
Yeah.
A second behind me. David, 5 seconds, and I think I managed to stretch David out to 10, 11 off the back of the stop. And then I'm not sure what happened to Dan's race. It'd be interesting to know what did happen. But the interesting thing about this championship is with all different cars, you're going to get different lengths of pit stop. With this particular car, the fuel going in was extremely long, as if they were using just a regular pump on the high street rather than a race pump. So it was worth limiting the amount of time in the box as much as possible. So for me, I had a fuel number in mind. It was on my dash. I just made sure I tried to hit that number. lap after lap and extend, and it looks like I was able to extend to lap 14, so 1 lap further than David, and then 2 to 3 laps further than the rest of the field, and I think ultimately that's what won it. And then the second half of the stint, I pushed like crazy to get fastest lap just to prove that there is pace there. But I was just being sensible for the first half of the race.
I was going to say, I can't believe the last lap of the race you pulled out a 2:09.5. That was faster than your qualifying lap, no?
Yeah. Qualifying, I think we as a group sort of agreed that the track was a bit weird. On qualifying was a bit slow. Even at the first half of the race, the first stint, the track seemed very, very slow, and then the second stint, the track just came alive. And a mid 209 was what I was looking for, and managed to get it just on the last lap.
Excellent. What a way to start the championship. I don't think you can really go any better than that. And to have David behind you, backing you up for Curb Clippers, it's got to feel good going into the second round of the championship.
Yeah, obviously for KCSR, it's a really, really good start, especially off the back of last season where we had a pretty good run. But we've got far greater competition this time. I think you saw it from Rocco's qualifying that he's extremely quick. We've got a couple of new communities in, like the MVRC guys, who are all really quick. I can't imagine it's going to be as easy as last year. I think it's going to be a really tight championship, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and those at home enjoyed watching the race too.
Oh, absolutely.
Question off the back of that though, does that make it more enticing or more worrying for you, knowing that the competition's closer?
Oh no, far better. I'd rather be pushed. Having Dan 5 to 9 tenths behind me for the whole of the first stint was what I want. It's what makes racing industry interesting. Unlike Verstappen, who came out recently and said he likes leading at the front alone, it can get a bit boring. So I was going to say, good to have the competition.
I was going to say we won't mention Verstappen. You'll get me started. But yeah, fantastic! What a fantastic race! Really good strategy. Clearly, a lot of homework has gone into that to get that result. Congratulations! Hopefully, we'll see more repeats of it through the season.
Cheers, and thank you for you both for taking the time this evening to watch along and bring it to our fans at home, I guess.
Our pleasure. These races are always so fantastic. I was nagging Jay all the time. When are you starting season 2? When? So yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. I'll let you go on your own, Drew. Well done. Long may it continue. And cheers for coming and say hi as well.
Cheers, thanks guys. Have a good one.
Right, so next into the combox, Mr. David Sobrero. I really hope that I'm pronouncing your name right. That's
all right.
Really
no problem. Yeah.
Perfect. Because that's going to be really awkward otherwise. Second place, a really, really difficult race for yourself. Lots of competition all around. How was it from the driver's seat?
Well, first of all, good night, everyone. Hope you're having a good time. So, to be honest, I already expected to finish second place because I didn't have much time to practice. I only did some laps before the race. And yeah, with my qualifying, which was far from I was expecting, which put me back in 4th or 5th, I don't remember. The start was very difficult because you start on a uphill section, and I was pulling the clutch. But then I remember that the car was falling down, and I was going to get a drive-to penalty because that happens a lot on this track. So that distracted me a lot, and I just didn't get the getaway I wanted. And yeah, from then I was just saving as much fuel I could behind Rocco and J-turn, and that helped a lot after a pit stop, even though I overfueled quite a lot, but I think it helped on the end.
Yeah, but there's the only time, as I had from a different game, the only time you have too much fuel is when you're on fire. Thankfully, not really a thing that we have to worry about in sim racing. Actually, it's from Space Engineer, Serta. But better to have too much than too little for sure. and in the end still got that second place, which was about as good as you were going to get. Tell us, how does one fuel save in these G55 cars? Because I'm sure that throttle must be quite addictive.
Well, I don't know, to be honest, because as I said, I didn't practice that much. But because J-Turn and Rocco were fighting ahead, I rather just save behind them than trying to be in the middle and risk for anything else, you know? And
Yeah.
because I was already on, I guess, 4 warnings on the first 10
my.
minutes, I don't know why. I kept doing the same track limits on the same corner lap after lap. I don't know why. But yeah, I couldn't risk much more. So yeah, I tried to play the long game, and at the end it paid off. So yeah.
Good. That's awesome to hear. That's fantastic. And again, I always love a race where strategy comes into it. And these cars, I mean, these are absolutely wonderful to watch. Driving wise, I suppose you didn't really push the car too much, did you at all?
No, because I did pretty much all the race without my headlights on because of my frames. So there was the lap I was gonna pit, I actually spun, but I don't know how I managed to save it. Lost about a second or two, I don't know. That was very nervous, I guess. But yeah, it was difficult to push in these conditions. And I already knew Drew was gonna win, so yeah, I think I'm happy with P2, you know.
Yeah, it'll do. It's definitely best of the rest, and as we said to Drew, fantastic start to the season for KCSR.
Yeah, I think after getting a 1-2 in the prologue, having the same result here is fantastic. I don't know how are we gonna plan the drivers for the next races, but if I keep racing, I'll try to do my best to keep these results for the rest of the season.
Legend. Thank you very much for joining us, David. Hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. Long may we see you at the head of the field.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys.
Cheers, man.
Bye.
And finally, of our podium, we have a non-curb clippers driver. God, this is rare. Mr. Rocco Damanoides. Again, I have to say, I sincerely hope that I'm pronouncing your name properly.
Perfectly.
Hey, we'll take that.
Hey, everybody.
Third place. Is that about where you were hoping to be, or were you hoping for more tonight?
Well, with that field of drivers, which are really high class, so my expectations were in between 3rd and 5th. So I met my goal, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Nice.
Excellent. And right on the top of your estimations as well. Do you think curb clippers are touchable this season? We saw a pretty... Their two displays so far from the prologue and from round 1 have been a little bit indomitable, but there's a lot going on this season as far as car class variety is concerned.
Yeah, sure. They're strong as always, and they surprised with some good racing times again. So I expected maybe a bit of drop of racing performance after seeing the practice sessions before. So yeah, just in case they do no error, there is almost no way past them. So I'm still really happy with 3rd place in that spot.
Superb. Excellent. Well, we have to bring in someone else, our fourth place driver and one of the admin here at AMS2CC, because Jay, you have a question for Rocco.
Yes, I do. I thought if I got him live on stream, he might tell me his pit secrets. I don't know what got featured on the stream, but I was in 3rd when the pit stops happened, and I knew how much fuel you took on was absolutely critical. And with Rocco just a second or so behind, he managed to leapfrog me in the pits, so he clearly took less fuel on. And I thought he was going to run out of fuel at the end of the race, because I know he was about 5 seconds less fuel is about a lap's worth of fuel, but he managed to keep it going, and I ran out of fuel 100 meters after the line, so I was on the absolute minimum. So yes, what's your secret, Rocco? I'm not sure if you're willing to spill the beans, but I took 79 litres. How much did you take, and how did you manage to do so little?
Yeah, indeed, fuel was quite a thing to consider in this race, because refueling took a lot of time. And you could also fuel save by driving the car accordingly, and it will make up some seconds during pit stop. So I think I nailed it. I had like 4 liters left in the end, which is less than half a lap. So considering the guys in front doing fast pace, doing an extra lap, so it took 1 lap extra, and yeah, it pretty much nailed it. So that's why I got past you.
Can you recall how much fuel you took? Was it? I assume it was less than what I took, or maybe you just nailed that coming down to the 100 kilometers. Just a little bit less. Well, it made all the difference. Well done, mate. It was a quality move. I saw you come in the pits behind me. I knew what you were doing, and I thought, will you do it? Will you not? And you did. So well done, mate. Congrats on that.
But great job battling with you. So we were together like half the race, and on some parts, I pushed you really hard there, tried to be faster, but couldn't get past you on the straight again. So really lost a bit behind. So my goal was to pit 1 lap earlier than expected. And then you got to pit as well. So you went to pit as well. Bit of surprise. So I hope the refueling will do the trick.
Indeed. Well, thank you. Bring it back to getting Serta and Ika back on the chat. Thank you very much, guys, for doing the stream. You've done a sterling job. I'll be watching it later. Thank you.
Our pleasure. These races are so fun. We are commentating them, but it's more as imagine us two on a sofa watching the race and commentating the race from the sofa as we would do with any other race, because these races are so much fun. I just love the Automobilista 2 Community Cup. The concept is great.
I have a new dream now. Sitting on a couch with you, sir, to commentating a race.
Yeah,
we need to do that.
like the two old guys from the Muppet Show.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
That will be pretty good. So I just wanted to say as well, thank you to everybody who took part in the racing, everybody who's watched. The MS2 Community Cup is something that has taken me a lot of time to organise with the help of others, but it's great to see such a great opening event. Next round is the Copper Classic, something completely different, some older historic cars. Velocita, indeed. So 2 weeks' time, something completely different.
In 2 weeks' time? No. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep,
2 weeks' time. It's
every 2
it's
weeks.
No, but it's the second and there's one where there's 3 weeks.
There might be, but I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure it's 2 weeks. It'll be on the 20th of September.
All right. Good.
And with perfect timing, AMS2 has crashed.
Oh. Okay, not for me, but anyway. So, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. We had a lot of viewers, and we are happy. As Jay said, 20th of September, next race, Copa Classic at Velocita. Until then, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium. Bye.
Bye-bye.